What's up, everybody? I hope you're having a wonderful Monday, and I also hope that you can hear me really, really well. I'm Nehemiah Frank, founder and editor in chief of the Black Wall Street Times, and this is just an update on what's happening across this country. One of our producers told me that I should do this, and so that is the reason why I'm talking to you at noon. So it should be noon Central Time, 1 p.m. on the East Coast, and there is a lot happening in the news. But and I'm here to read it for you. So I'm gonna actually read it over here on this prompt, and we can just talk. If you have questions about it, if you want to hear my opinion about it, if I haven't given it, then I'm happy to give that opinion. But we're gonna start off in Washington, D.C. I think you probably know where I'm going with this. So the name Redskins is widely considered a racial slur against Native Americans, but Trump wants to bring it back. Who didn't see that coming, right? He's calling the new name, the Commanders, ridiculous. Too many. This feels like yet another example of Trump mocking marginalized communities. And for many Black Americans, it hits a nerve. I know it hit a nerve with me when I heard that this was happening. It reminds us of how our pain gets ignored or worse, weaponized. And this isn't just about a name, it's about the disrespect beneath it. Trump is using political and financial leverage, threatening to block a stadium deal just to bring back a racist name. Sounds familiar? Black Americans have seen this before when the leaders use this power to protect white nostalgia, but not our schools or safety or our lives. And so for many of you who know back in Tulsa, which is where I'm from, I was heavily involved when it came to renaming the schools in Tulsa. Many of the schools were named after Confederate soldiers. I even had people in my family, like most American families, have a pretty diverse family. But I had family members that were actually confronting me about, trying to change the name of Robert E. Lee off of an elementary school. So, it's been a pretty intense last few years trying to get these names, but I figured that once Trump got back into office, that he would start renaming things like the Gulf of Mexico. I almost said Gulf of America. Imagine that. Mount McKinley, right? He renamed it back to Mount McKinley instead of the indigenous name that it was once called. And then they're going after military bases, and so this is nothing new. The difference is that this is a private company. And so it'll be interesting to see how they either cave to this pressure or not. So anyways, this plays into Trump's anti-woke culture war. And to us, it sounds like another dog whistle, defending offensive heritage, rejecting inclusion, and pushing back on any progress that seems as too woke. And let's be real, Trump rarely defends marginalized people, but he'll go all in to defend a racist team name, even as so much as trying to get an NFL team to force the NFL team to rename their or to revert back to its old name, which is absolutely ridiculous. Why does he even care about that, right? So this isn't about free speech. It's about who gets protected and whose identity gets trampled. And to many, this feels like another movement where racism becomes a rallying cry, where offensive symbols are called patriotic, and our dignity gets treated like a bargaining chip. For those of you tuning in live on Substack, thank you so much for joining me today. And if you've been following our work for a while, consider becoming a paid subscriber. Your support helps us keep reporting the stories traditional media often ignores and giving a platform to those who are too often on the margin. So let's just see if we got any folks tuning in. It looks like we got a nice little crowd. Substack be loving us. I'm so grateful for y'all folks on Substack. And if you have any questions or if you have a comment, let me know. If you're on Substack, I cannot pull your comment onto the screen, but if you're on any of the other social media platforms that we're streaming to, you can definitely do that. So loud and clear. Let me see. Gregory, what's going on, brother? Let's see what else we got here on Substack. Our Substack supporters are amazing. Appreciate your time, brother. If you all have merch, I would love to support y'all. We actually do have merch. I think that Andrew is probably watching it. So Andrew, if you could just make sure that that person gets the link to our merch, that would be great. So we have some dope coffee cups. This is the classic Black Wall Street Times coffee cup that we actually did when we opened our store in the historic Greenwood district in Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is where we're rooted. We don't have any more of these, but I'm sure at some point we probably will be making some. But I just ordered off of our website the Unapologetically Black one. And I know that we've got some other in the works. So, but yes, you can support us by getting some of our merch. But anyways, let's keep going. We're going to move over to Chicago because there's some news there that happened over the weekend for us that we're really excited about. So whether you're a fan of the Chicago mayor or not, Brandon Johnson, that's on you. That's your call. But we're just glad he gave us a shout out on Instagram this weekend, and he actually did. So let's see that. Bam. I always love when stuff like this happens to us because we're not as big as the Griot or the Root. Maybe we might be the size of the Root now. But it's really nice to have national figures like the mayor of Chicago recognize the Black Wall Street Times because we're not a big traditional media company. We're a lot smaller. And so to be able to be recognized and to be seen it's everything. It really is. It's another milestone for us. Last year, I had the privilege of flying on Air Force Two with then Vice President Kamala Harris. I will never forget that moment. It was definitely one of the highlights of my life. And I was hoping that she could be our president, but she's not. And this is Substack, so I can say those types of things because we're keeping it personal on here. So we're going to keep going. Let's see here. Yes, the Black Wall Street Times, we ended up actually highlighting these three Black mayors here, including our own, because oftentimes you have Black politicians or elected officials get overly scrutinized by the white press, and there's no one that's there to really defend them or to defend their record. And so we're happy to do so. Our incredible managing editor, Dion Osborne, wrote this great story that has done extremely well on Substack. I think it has like over 6,000 likes on our Substack account, which is probably the reason why someone from Mayor Brandon Johnson's office flagged us and decided to highlight the article in the news. And so let's keep going because there's a through line that I'm actually putting together here for y'all, and it'll kind of come together at the end if you don't recognize it before we get to the end of this stream. So let's see here. So we went to Chicago. Okay, and last Friday, here we go. This is actually one of my favorite ones that I wanted to share with y'all today. Last Friday, we posted a clip of Fulton County DA Fani Willis standing her ground when a Wright reporter confronted her. You know the story. You know the story. So let's take a look at this, y'all, because this one had me giggling, had me tickled actually.
Up really quick.
It's not wrapped up.
It's about to be, though. Could we maybe talk about, you relied heavily on getting those murder convictions in the YSL case, but no one was convicted in this. What's your message to taxpayers who may say that this was a waste of taxpayer money and their time.
What I want to say to you as a reporter, and I want your other reporters to be responsible, is you keep going to defense attorneys who put their children in private schools, in communities that are not our communities, and really don't care about the African American community. What you need to understand is there were 19 convictions. 7 I decided to null pros, mostly because they were doing life sentences on murder. Just yesterday, Channel 2, an affiliate, covered a YSL murder of a 21-year-old mother in front of her 2-year-old child. And go look at the statistics, crime is down. So what taxpayers that I say, what my constituents say who just voted me by 68% is she's doing an amazing job. We are making sure that this community is safe, that crime is the lowest here of most places in the United States of America. I think we're like number 3, and it's because of the efforts I have done against gangs. Stop glorifying violence and stop making it that some victims don't matter, because victims of all races, of all socioeconomic status matter. So stop talking to attorneys that don't live in Fulton at all. They live in safe neighborhoods. Their children go to safe schools. My children in these communities, they matter too.
Respectfully, Ms. Willis, I asked you about the 2 murder convictions that never came through. What's your message to taxpayers and to the taxpayers that may have...
My message to taxpayers is it was an amazing time. We had 19 convictions. The community is safer. We made sure that we got the resolutions we want. If they're unhappy with sentencing, they should elect other judges.
And you also relied heavily on the RICO law that you had
and
too.
I'm going to continue to rely on it because it works, it's effective, and it tells jurors the full message.
But other people may say with the other people that it wasn't effective.
Other people weren't elective as a DA.
Guys, y'all gotta love Fani Willis. I love this woman. I've never met her, but I love the fact that she always stands her ground and she speaks in facts. You know, crime is down in Atlanta, Georgia. Crime is down in New York City as well. Crime is down across the country, and hopefully crime will continue to go down in Tulsa, Oklahoma, because we have a Black mayor who is implementing some of the plans from some of these other cities in order to drive crime rates down there too. So kudos to all of the mayors and all of the Black politicians across this country who are doing the work to make us all safer. So let's continue to go, because I want to talk more about some of this criticism. So that's kind of the through line, if you haven't noticed yet. Fani has been under attack. And also just today, Trump's Homeland Security Secretary, Kristi Noem, blamed New York Mayor Eric Adams for the death of a police officer today in a press conference, even though the officer wasn't on duty and wasn't in uniform. And so I want y'all to just take a look at this, because sometimes I wonder if they are microaggressions, or perhaps it's just Trump's MAGA base and MAGA minions doing their job, right? Let's take a listen to the secretary.
Make no mistake, this officer is in the hospital today fighting for his life because of the policies of the mayor of this city and the city council and the people that were in charge of keeping the public safe. They refused to do so, and now we have the situation on our hand where someone who has dedicated their lives to protecting the public is now fighting for his own. I'm calling on every single mayor and sanctuary city and sanctuary governor to change their policies and to change their tactics right now. Their job is to take an oath to protect the public, to protect families that are out there every single day trying to provide for each other and to try to live the American dream, and they want to do so safely in their own communities. How many more lives will it take? How many more people have to be hurt and victimized before we have public safety be a #1 priority in some of our largest cities?
So imagine that. The thing that I was thinking about, how Republicans usually will not want to politicize anything. They didn't want to politicize what happened in Texas, right? When the Texas state legislature didn't want to put any funding behind warning systems that caused the deaths of hundreds of people. They're still looking for bodies after those floods, by the way. Or if there is a school shooting, right? They don't want to politicize any of that. They will say that it's too early, but here you are, less than 24 hours after this police officer has been attacked. This off-duty police officer has been attacked. And you're politicizing it. You're politicizing the fact that the mayor of New York is a Democrat. And then I didn't show this, but that clip actually goes on to show her targeting the mayors of other cities, calling them sanctuary cities, as you know, the buzzword is for those on the right. But anyways, let's continue. This is nothing out of the ordinary for the Trump orbit. But one thing, as I had mentioned earlier, crime is down in New York City. And so the through line here is that the National Urban League just released its 2025 State of Black America report. We actually just dropped that news article on the Black Wall Street Times website, and it's also on our Substack account for those who are watching on there. And so let's break down the findings of this report. It said that the verdict is clear. We are in a state of emergency, and this is for Black America. We're in a state of emergency. Honestly, America, period, is if our civil rights are being rolled back, you better believe that if you're living on the margins in any capacity, your rights are being rolled back too, and that includes poor white people. So democracy and civil rights are under siege since January to 20th, 2025. Executive actions have weakened protections in education, housing, healthcare, and voting. The Supreme Court has rolled back affirmative action and gutted voting rights enforcement. Economic and health disparities are widening. And actually, I just want to pause really fast on the Supreme Court rolling back affirmative action. So, as y'all know, I'm from Oklahoma, and Oklahoma did a similar rollback against affirmative action. I want to say it was in 2012. And when I tell you that it hurt Black contractors, it hurt them to the point to where you see continued migration of African Americans out of the state of Oklahoma to other states because Black contractors are just suffering. They can't get work because of this affirmative action ban that has taken place. And so you can imagine that the same thing is going to happen across this country. So the economic and health disparities are widening. Black families still earn about 37% less than white families. Black children live 4 years fewer on average than white children. Black women are 59% more likely to die during childbirth. Black men are 52% more likely to die from prostate cancer. And Black women face a 31% higher death rate from breast cancer. And this is according to the State of Black America's report that was led by the National Urban League. And it continues, criminal justice inequities persist. Black people are twice as likely to face police force and 3 times more likely to be jailed. Voter suppression is getting worse. The report outlines gerrymandering, voter purges, intimidation, and election sabotage. And a new campaign called Reclaim Your Vote has launched because in key states, while voter turnout still outpaces Black turnout by 5%. So hopefully that call to action will lead to actual results. And equity efforts are under attack. Federal and state leaders are rolling back DEI programs and civil rights protections. Even the Justice Department is shifting in ways that may weaken longstanding protections, but there's hope. There's always going to be hope. The resistance is growing. More than 247 lawsuits have been filed to challenge these federal rollbacks. And the Urban League is mobilizing through legal action, civic planning, youth summits, and local organizing. Because we know if we don't fight for our rights, no one will. And if we don't tell our stories, they will erase us. And so that is why the Black Wall Street Times is here, y'all. I am Nehemiah Frank. I'm about to sign out of here, but I'm going to see if anybody else has made a comment. We're going to go backwards on our Substack account. So Gregory, yes, Gregory, please come to Black Wall Street. I would like to say that is our own sacred space here in this country. And the best times to come is during the biker rally, during Juneteenth, and during Black Wall Street Legacy Fest, which we actually helped put together with the Terrence Crutcher Foundation and other community partners. Well, anyways, y'all, I hope to see you later today on Substack. Again, if you're free or if you have the means, please become a paid subscriber to our Substack, because that will help us continue reporting the news and doing events for you guys, whether it's in person or digitally. And I hope to see you this evening with my colleague, Black Ink, inside the Black Wall Street Times. Y'all have a nice day now. Peace.